dude, I don't care. Like, someone has to do it.
Banks are throwing their arms up going, how are we going to deal with having to work on the weekends and stuff? And you're like, welcome to the party, bro.
70-80% of the work I was doing then and I was spending all night doing, I give it to Claude now. It does in 5 minutes.
There's no off switch in our industry.
But I was like, listen, if I have this cushion to come back, I'm going to come back and I'm just not going to do what I have to do.
Welcome back to The Local. We haven't done one of these for a while and I'm really excited to get back behind the microphone. And today I have Rodrigo from Boole Digital with me. Tell me, what is Boole Digital?
So Boole Digital, my co-founder and I, we started about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically been a prop trading firm.
Yeah.
We've been playing on essentially on DeFi and on centralized venues.
Okay.
About a year ago, and actually throughout the history of Boole Digital, but about a year ago specifically, we started spending a lot more energy trying to integrate AI into a lot of our trading workflows.
Okay. Yeah.
I think as part of that journey, we sort of kind of like had this realization that AI had become so good at creating code, at production grade code. All these trading venues were essentially, at this stage, are fully programmable, but retail didn't really yet have a way to really harness that AI intelligence into actually trading workflows. So we set out to essentially take a lot of the stuff that we were building for our own purposes, and repurpose it into a consumer-facing application, essentially an agentic trading desk that retail can use.
And so exposing a lot of the infrastructure that you'd already built.
So we repurposed a lot of it to but yes, that's right.
If we wind back sort of, I guess at the beginning of Boole, because I'm fascinated, like we're a trading firm, like we're a prop trading firm as well. And our origin story, as I was just going through, was like how Marcus, Alex, and I met at a big HFT here in London as they moved into crypto, and we came in with different skill sets and different experiences, and from mainly sort of like all of us had crypto experience, but we'd had careers within TradFi.
Yeah.
How did you guys start? Did you and your co-founder know each other before? How did you meet? What was going on?
We met at a hackathon in 2018. So maybe just to give you a little bit more context of where we're both coming from, where I'm coming from. But I was actually back in 2014. I was working just in traditional investment banking, just boring M&A.
M&A stuff, like proper banking.
So not even trading. This is like proper just
PowerPoints, Excel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was doing that in New York and in Hong Kong, and just I really appreciated the job. I thought I was learning a lot. It was my first job out of college.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see myself just staying in that career path.
You can be honest. I did M&A for like 3 months in a rotation because I was at a bank and we had a lovely scheme, and you had to do like 3 months on your preferred side of the bank, which for me was the trading floor. But you had to do 3 months on the other side as well. So you sort of understood that there was this whole other world that was M&A and deal making and like big origination for debt and all this sort of stuff. So you could try and tie the two together, but obviously with a big Chinese wall between them.
Of course.
And it's dramatic to say, it almost killed me, but it was incredibly frustrating as a work environment because as a junior there, you start your day at the same time as other people, but I didn't get any work until like 6 p.m. And then like the senior guys and girls leave, and they just give you all of the stuff to do, and you're like, why couldn't you give me this like earlier? And
it's funny too, because obviously I think probably things have changed over the years, but back then, since 2014, it was the former Fig team at a large bulge bracket that had like spun off into a small boutique.
Like a boutique, okay, cool.
But the senior leadership were all really old school investment bankers. Yeah. So it's what you're describing, right? Like I'm in at like 8:45. I get a lot of sort of grunt work during the day, but the real bulk of work comes at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And then I'm there till 1 a.m. 1 a.m. is like a nice day.
The benefit is you get a bit of food. Like they'll be like, order stuff in, whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat like junk for the next 2 years.
Well, to me, I guess at the time, again, I had just graduated from college. I went to a liberal arts school in the U.S.
Yeah.
You don't have like very specific like vocational training. So I never took like a specific like accounting class or a specific.
Right.
So it was all like more liberal arts topics. So for me, like, the lifestyle did suck. But it did put me into the mindset of like, how do I apply this to like a real business setting?
Yeah, okay.
it also, I mean, the truth is, it also just gave me a lot of exposure to like a lot of deal making, which is, again, going back to like the part that I did enjoy and I did appreciate was when I was actually on live deals and executing things. But the truth is, like 50% of the job was not that.
No, of course, it's like pitching for those deals and doing PowerPoints.
And that never ends, right? Like that never, even when you're at the MD level, it never ends.
Yeah.
And like, I think like it is, I guess you're a salesman at that point. Like, and that's an exciting part of the job for some people. But I just didn't see a path there that worked really well for me.
I can understand that. Learning a lot, deal making, exciting, being on the deal team. I remember that like from my time doing it. It was, we had a couple of wins, which is kind of, you go from doing one type of work, which is the pitching and the doing the comparables across the market, and then working out, how you
and the modeling
and all this stuff. Which is, I mean, concretely, I learned some skills doing that. I mean, it was only 3 months I was doing it, but I learned how to structure. It sounds silly. I learned how to structure pitch decks properly in terms of how to use PowerPoint, and my Excel skills got better because I was similar to you. I'd done, arts degrees, which will get a laugh because we have a within the business here we have engineering team and everyone else just gets lumped into humanities or liberal arts.
So I wasn't the humanities.
Me too. Although you can argue whether econometrics is a science or an art, but and so there were some things that I learned that was good, but you go from doing that, the pitching and stuff, and then once the deal happens, it becomes a whole another type of work as well. And I just found the culture more than anything was frustrating. It was like, I could do this work for you like probably more efficiently if I was doing it 9 till 5.
And you were nicer to me.
Yeah, and if you were nicer to me as well.
But you know what's crazy? Now, like, and I guess this was at the junior level. Obviously, I never rose up to, but 80% of the work I was doing then, and I was spending all night doing, I give it to Claude now.
Yeah, it's done.
It does in 5 minutes. So it's wild how.
I mean, I don't really know many people in that space anymore, but I think it's there's parallels to what's going on in law. There's the whole, there's a whole strata of people at the junior end of these careers that are not going to go through the experience that you and I sort of had, which is maybe a good thing, but they're also not going to learn the stuff there because you just boom straight into an AI that does everything, whether it's modeling or X or all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you did that, and then did you know your co-founder at that point as well?
No, so that was like way back then. So I was in New York, and then I moved to Hong Kong. So I did that in a year in New York, 2 years in Hong Kong, and like I said, like I appreciated the job. I actually had a really good relationship with my MD in Hong Kong.
Okay.
But it just wasn't my thing.
So if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Yeah. So I just quit. I was actually looking at jobs in private equity, and it was kind of like the natural transition. But I decided not to pursue anything there, and I decided to just cold turkey. I'm just gonna like try to be an entrepreneur somehow. Yeah. I'll try to figure it out.
Was that a fast realization, or did it happen over? Like, was there one thing? Because I remember, like, I could literally have walked out of that time and just gone, right, I'm done. This is like too much.
I think like since very little, like I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I think my family just kind of like my dad has always been at a company that like basically since they start from zero to like where they are now, and like it. Yeah. And so he like literally helped grow the whole path. So I always kind of had that like I guess influence in my life. I also I think was coming from a background with not very much money. I grew up in El Salvador. Yeah. I got scholarships in boarding schools in the U.S. and university in the U.S. So I think like the first thing I wanted to do just out of college was just
get some money.
Yeah, get some financial independence, and also honestly also just get into the workforce, like learn a little bit about the workforce. So I think going back to your question, so I think I always was working my way to get there. And it was more of a timing question, like how much money is enough, like when is the timing right, when do I have the right idea to do something else, and so again, like at the time I was actually still considering like other jobs in finance. I don't know exactly what it was, but I don't know, partially it was probably crypto, because this is roughly when I started getting into crypto. I didn't have a specific idea of what I wanted to do in crypto, but I knew there was something there.
And it's vibrant and there's opportunity and you can see people building and having success.
So I quit. My MD tried to get me to stay. but you know that he tried to get me to go on a 6-month sabbatical. But I was like, listen, if I have this cushion to come back, I'm gonna come back, and I'm just not gonna do what I have to do.
Yeah, not having that safety net is a big driver for work. Like, it makes you work hard, and like, I think you're right. If there was a safety net out there when we started our business, it's okay, head down. We have to build, and we have to make this work. And with that comes a lot of fear, and but also potential. Hopefully, you grow something great and it becomes a big success. But that motivating factor of it's either this or it doesn't work, or go back to M&A or something. Is like, whoa, okay, that
you might stop trying as hard. It's like, well, it's not working, and I have this job. I think I'm just gonna go back to it.
Did you know when did you meet your co-founder?
After that job, I basically started working on a couple of different things, trying to start different businesses
in crypto.
In crypto, and I started a different business back then, an infrastructure business, just essentially running validator nodes across different DPoS blockchains. And aside from that, I started just participating on a lot of hackathons. I guess I was doing these two things in parallel. The hackathons weren't a real job, right? Like it was just participating in competitions where I could also like learn and meet new people.
Were you coding at that point?
Lightly, like very, very lightly.
Yeah. And where did you learn that?
Part of like the infrastructure business that I started on with a different co-founder back then. We were part of, I don't know if you remember the EOS blockchain launch. So we were one of the I forget what they called them, like the 21, like the blockchain needed 21 block producers to kickstart it. And then after that, there was a voting system where like it rotated in and out of the top 21. So we were one of like those very first ones. And there was this one Telegram chat that had like every single block producer, but essentially every single like I guess CTO of every block producer, coordinating how they're going to launch and when they're going to launch, and I think just being in that chat just kind of like taught me a lot of stuff. But it was very, very technical, and like you get to see into the minds of all these like really technical, really technical founders. So I think that kind of like got me started, and I had taken some intro to computer science classes in the past. So like I knew a little bit. I knew enough
to get going,
but I wasn't like a dev, like, and I wasn't coding a ton. But I knew enough to understand product really well. And I knew enough, and I knew the business side really well to kind of like be in this
that's
space
important.
between the business and the product side.
Yeah, and often because you have like cracked engineers out there who can build amazing things, but without a business context, they might go spend ages building a product which no one is going to be able to launch, or then not know how to launch it. That is
like, honestly, that is the biggest challenge of one of the biggest challenges of starting a business, of starting a tech startup. Is figuring out exactly what is the MVP and like who are you actually selling this to, and like, are you over engineering any aspects of it? Are you over optimizing certain things that you could optimize later? So how do you build something that you can actually move fast with?
And get feedback from.
And I mean, we've definitely. So my co-founder is our CTO, and he has a very strong like business mindset too. So like so that's extremely helpful. That's the thing too. Like my co-founder and I are both like, I did work in finance for 3 years, but like I've mostly been, that was only as a junior, and I've mostly been an entrepreneur, right? Like so I've mostly been trying to figure things out from scratch. Whereas when we're trying to onboard engineers that come with like 15, 20 years of traditional experience, and like there's all these processes that come. So I think we need those things. But but not at the very beginning.
They're often those processes are often a crutch that they've used within big institutions or are enforced within big institutions. And you at that stage when it's like 2+ hiring first engineers, you need people who are flexible enough to come in and look around and recognize that they end up having to do a lot of the stuff themselves. It's exactly. Not like, so stand up your GitHub CI/CD process. Just go and do it. And it might not be in your job spec, but your job spec is to make this business work. And you've got the engineering skills to go and do it. So please help.
Yeah, exactly. No, I had this situation where this is in a previous business. We were still pretty small back then, and I believe I gave a task to someone on the marketing team, but it was a task that was more geared towards growth. And one of our product managers.
Yeah.
On the side, there was a question like, "Oh, like, are you sure?" Like I don't think that's really his role. Like, and I was like, "Dude, I don't care. Like, we like someone has to do it. Like, like." I don't care what his role is. Like we just need to get it done.
Yeah, it is. Someone needs to do it. So, they have more relevant skills.
Yeah,
than
they had the perfect skill set to do it. So like why like it's not in their job description is not the right.
And I mean that sort of stuff. It happens, and I can understand how it happens as businesses get bigger. You know, people have their roles and there are certain responsibilities that get defined in their job specs. And if something's given to them that's outside of that, then you know there's potentially legitimate pushback. But when you're a sub 30-person business, it's like you can have degrees of specialization across that business. Of course you can. But if there's stuff that needs to get done and you can do it, then just do it, right?
But you're saying sub 30 or like 5, you know? So it's like, dude, like you should do it.
Yes. If I'm asking and you have relevant skills, please just do it.
Going back to how I met my co-founder, we were, so I had this business. I was participating in hackathons. EOS at the time was doing this global hackathon series where they hosted 4 hackathons around the world in Sydney, SF, and London. Actually, they did one in London and in Hong Kong. And then the winners of each one of those, or the top 3 of each one of those, would then participate in a grand finale in Cape Town.
That's cool. So different people participating in each of the different hackathons, but the top 3 then go to a final.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice. Yeah.
But I did participate with the team in the SF one, and then my co-founder participated separately in Sydney. And we both were top 3 placers.
Okay, nice.
So then we met in Cape Town at the grand finale. We were competing teams, like everyone was friendly with each other. Yeah, we just kept in touch. We didn't work together immediately, but we kept in touch. And for my next business, he actually joined us, and he essentially was our very first team member, and he was basically the CTO, like the head of engineering.
Yeah, that's a nice organic way to get to meet someone. I mean, hackathons are great because it's a target that you can work towards. It's can be well defined, can be loose defined. The people that you meet there are genuinely builders and quite self motivated, right? So they like getting the hands dirty and doing stuff. They
were trying to, I think, build some form of accelerator. Yeah. And the whole hackathon series was run by this team in the accelerator team. Yeah. And they had a very strong team, and they had like really good guidance. They connected us with really good advisors.
That's nice.
Ultimately, it was a very good experience, and they provided a lot of really good resources.
It sounds like, I mean, the super team on Solana super team do an incredible job with that. I think around the globe at the moment. Big up super team, and they host events. They've got space down at Somerset House in London where you can go along, and they'll introduce you to stuff. I think for a large ecosystem, having that sort of function come out of part of your business and supporting people who are building in your space is vital.
Yeah, we actually are talking to the super team guys. We have like a good relationship with them.
Yeah, I think of the people that we've interacted with, they're the ones that stand out, I think, for us, which is kind of cool. And so that's great in terms of meeting your co-founder and a nice organic way for you guys to meet. Did you work on the idea of Boole Digital together and they were like, damn it, we're just going to go and do this? Or was it one of you who was like, I'm doing this thing, do you want to do it? How did that come about?
I guess fast forward, we started working together on a different business. We did that for about 3 years. He took a step back first.
Yeah.
I guess the business at this point was like 40, 50 people.
Wow.
It was fairly.
That's a proper big business.
Yeah, and it was going through the burp, so we were in the process of like downsizing.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got to.
But it was a big business. But so essentially, Lachlan, my co-founder, at the time the head of engineering, was just a little bit burnt out. He, like when you're building systems. So I guess at the time we were building like DeFi systems.
Yeah.
And when you're building all these systems, and he was like the head, like tech person. I think he felt a lot of pressure building a lot of systems that hold a lot of capital.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And that it's
there's no off switch in our industry, right?
Yeah.
This is coming.
Yeah, it's like 24/7.
This is coming to traditional finance now, and I mean I saw an article yesterday or the day before on the banks are throwing their arms up going, how are we going to deal with having to work on the weekends and stuff? And you're like, welcome to the party, bro. We've been doing this for 6 or 7 years now. Like, it's just table stakes. But it definitely has that ability to burn people out really quickly. And I think as a firm, we need to think about how we help our employees manage that, because, across the leadership team, we've got people who, myself included, have slept with phones underneath their pillows, waiting for alerts to go off and waiting for clients to call and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. And it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about it too, right? Like the time we were a team of essentially 3 co-founders. I was the most technical, and I'm not a technical guy, right? Like, so I was the most technical. So Lachlan was, essentially our crutch in that sense. He wasn't a founder, and he had all this pressure, so it was very understandable as well, right? Like he just wanted some time off.
Yeah, understandable.
So he took a step back, and the reality too is actually I was also, our business was going through a pivot, and I actually help essentially structure that pivot, but I just wanted to do something different. Yeah. So very shortly after my founder took a step back, I did as well, and we're really good friends. So we just we kept on doing weekly catch ups. What are you working on? What am I working on? And a couple months later, we figured we should start training.
Right.
So one of what kind of led to this a little bit was one of my best friends from Hong Kong that I met in 2015 was a trader at Jane Street.
Okay.
So he was at Jane Street for about 9-10 years.
Wow.
And in about 2021, he decided to leave to start his own trading firm.
With a focus on crypto.
On crypto. Yeah.
And that time, 2021, it was nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was crazy in terms of opportunity. And if you had trading chops and the ability to build,
and this guy is he's a cracked, cracked dev, cracked trader, cracked quant. He's like,
I can understand that move at that time, because you're like, I can do this, I can do it better than 99% of the teams out there, and the opportunity is huge.
Yeah. So, anyways, he left to start that, and he was new to the crypto scene,
right?
And he was one of my best friends, so I was trying to help as much as I could. But then, I guess, fast forward to 2023, late 2023, when we were thinking about this, he was actually very supportive. Obviously he had a lot of secrets that he can't disclose, but he was very supportive, very helpful in helping us getting started.
That's nice. So you helped him out when he was first.
And then he came back and then helped us out. So actually, Lachlan and I, my friend had moved to Mexico City. So we actually flew to Mexico City for a couple of weeks, stayed with him. He had this massive pad, and we just worked from the apartment for a couple of weeks, and he helped us get a bootstrap.
That's very cool. And that was the beginning of Boole?
That was basically the beginning of Boole Digital.
That's awesome.
So I guess this guy, he is an advisor to everything we do now.
Yeah. And when you first got going, so this was 2021?
This was 23. This was early 24, late 23.
Okay, so same time that we started, and so post FTX. So if it was late 23, okay, yeah. So we left Maven. Well, FTX happened 22. We left early 23. We started this early 23. So the market was kind of a bit at that point. It
was a difficult start.
It was a difficult start, but as people say, and it's
meme coins were.
Yeah, but it's also a meme to you might as well build in a bear market.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's less distraction.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we'd struggled with at the previous shop where the three of us had met was the amount of opportunity was a distraction. And so we were there building infrastructure that was going to trade centralized DeFi, DeFi centralized, and we wanted to do it in this really elegant way, but every 2 minutes there was a new launch of something that you could go and, potentially with risk, deploy capital into, make huge amount of returns, remove capital from, then move on to the next one.
Yeah,
so it was how can we focus on building something which is effectively a multi-year project when you've got this short-term opportunity environment that maybe in 2 years is not going to be there.
So that's kind of what we went through. So there were a handful of short-term opportunities, right, that we were doing really well in. But yeah, they kept coming and going, right? Yeah. And we started considering, like, should we go the market making route? Like, should we start trying to onboard clients and market for them? And again, we were coming from this, like, a lot of the products we had worked in the past were like consumer facing, or do we try to like build a consumer
something for a wider audience?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we were exploring both. Like, it wasn't like a.
You don't shut down ideas when you're a startup, right?
Yeah.
It's like.
And again, like, or I guess these short-term opportunities were still profitable.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that we could see it, like becoming a big business.
And you can't build a business around. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, a lot of that stuff at that period was like, it's not something I can do a little bit of engineering to try and be faster to take advantage of these opportunities next time they come around. But it's not a it's not a long-term business.
It was a lifestyle. Like, it was a lifestyle business, I think. Yeah. Like, it was like, it would have been a fine business, but it wouldn't. I guess we wanted to go a little bit bigger.
With that, you always have to have a bit of a longer horizon about, okay, if I have a decent prior that this is not going to be something that I can do, the industry just won't have this thing or support this thing, whatever it is, like staking or meme coin yield farming or whatever. If it's not even going to be there in 2 years, why would I build a business now to benefit from that? So I understand that tension.
Yeah. That's when we landed. That's when we started trying to figure out, like, how do we take a lot of these learnings, all this know-how that we have, how do we build a product that originally the vision was, how do we help retail navigate a blockchain infrastructure much more easily? So, like, all they care about is outcomes, right? Like, I want to trade something in a certain way. Like, how do I get that without having to worry about
wallets, keys,
like all this infra?
Yeah.
And that just sort of evolved into, like, well, like, how do you actually optimize that with AI, and how do you, like, it doesn't have to be capped at just crypto. Like, you can actually, like, do a lot more. So that was just kind of like the starting point.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think we started probably our journey a little bit earlier than you, not much, and like embedding AI into our approach for our business at that point was not really an option, because we started, and I don't think, probably people correct me if I'm wrong, but like ChatGPT hadn't been released. And so it wasn't something that we thought, this is great to use as part of our core product. And of course now, our token bills are going through the roof because the team use it in terms of like scaffolding first versions of stuff all the time. We still have to be careful about like hot path code and who's touching that, and reviewing anything that's going to go into production is still a human task as far as we're concerned. Yeah, and I don't know when it was for you, but for us, it was specifically December last year, that because we had been using AI before, but we were a little bit more careful. And starting in December, and I think that's roughly, like, I guess Opus, I forget which one was it, but 4, maybe 3 point, I don't know, I forget which one it was. But that's when we really got a lot more confident on we really should be using this for everything for all the and embedding it as part of the. So originally, not even for embedding it. Originally was just like we can move 100 times faster. Like because originally we were building a more like monolithic architecture, trading app. So like the first step was like, okay, like we need to move a lot faster, and now this can help us do that reliably, and I can actually help us do it reliably. But then that's also when we had that unlock. We're like, wait, why are we building this so static? Like, So what can a user do with what you're offering? So if I come there and I'm like, okay, I want to trade within the digital asset space. I don't necessarily have a bias for whether it's on a centralized venue or on chain. And they find Boole Digital. What does it offer them? The big picture is the frontier models are intelligent enough right now to think through a trade, to analyze, to run all sort of analysis on a trade, like with the right data, with the right rails. They're intelligent enough to do all of that, but they still require the right taste, like the right infra, the right harnesses, to essentially point it in the right direction, the right data sets in the right venues. That's like essentially what we're trying to build with Boole. So we're not coming at it from
here's the different ways you could use AI. Rather, here's this, here's this really powerful top of the line model.
Yeah.
It has all the infra it needs to do whatever you want it to do.
Yeah.
When you present something like that to someone, like if they're a pro trader, they'll come up with some idea.
Yeah, but it's quite loosely defined for a noob, right?
Exactly. So we're doing two things to help alleviate that. There's still a lot of things that we can give you to help you ideate how to get started.
Yeah.
Or different things that you could explore. That's just one thing. Number two, we're targeting pros, like what we call prosumers. So we're targeting like the retail traders. They're on prediction markets, they're in perpetual venues.
Trading aware people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not, you're not going to have to explain to someone what a trade is.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
and I guess that's the launch. And we see this, we see as this product matures, it can really cater to a lot of other trading archetypes.
Yeah.
But we just see that as that audience is the right audience for a product like this because, again, like our approach is not to give you pre-built bots that you can change the parameters of. Our approach is to give you like raw intelligence that you can shape however you want. Yeah. So that is the right type of trader archetype that's going to be willing to take a bit more risk. And this is like by definition like a frontier product. So there's more risk that comes with it.
So I'm sorry, I was thinking about like, are you building on top of stuff like OpenClaw or like?
No. So it's interesting. Yeah. So we actually started. Have you ever set up an OpenClaw? I don't know. It's a pain. It's like. Sorry. Yeah.
It is a pain.
Yeah.
But I also used an AI to help me set it up.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got an AI over here, like a Claude or something, and I'm like, I want to set up OpenClaw.
Yeah.
I've got an AWS account. I'm reasonably technically proficient. Yeah. The things I'm worried about, security and information leakage, I don't want it touching any of my personal stuff.
Yeah.
Like, go. And it's like, it comes up with a bunch of questions. Yeah, I can do this. Answer each of the questions, and then it gives me like literally instructions to follow. And as it is with any sort of technical setup, you go through the first bits of instructions, and then you get an error that wasn't included in part of the instruction. You take the error from AWS or wherever and paste it back in here, and then you begin that journey. And so I got through it, but I'm a reasonably technically proficient person.
How much energy did you spend on? Sorry, what were you building it for?
A dev resource for me. So
I
was like, I want to be able to build things quickly for our business.
Yeah.
I don't want to bug my engineering team.
Yeah, of course,
it's not stuff that's going to go in production code. It's going to be maybe, how do I, we've got a nice data business. How do I build a widget that I can release to people? And, so that's the thing.
Yeah. Just looking back at like how much time you might have spent doing that and thinking like, let's say you had set out to do it, not to build these widgets, but actually to build a trading system. Like, how much time do you think you would have to spend like just perfecting it before you felt comfortable actually like?
I spent 20 odd years building trading systems, and it would still take it. Like if it was multi-venue, months. If it was single venue, I'd probably have it done in a few days.
Yeah, a little faster.
But I know there'd still be problems with it.
And I'm not saying like this is what we're trying to solve, right? Like that it's still like getting like the gap here is actually having that money grade like infrastructure, that money grade harness, right? Like so go back to answering your question. Going back to answering your question, like we when OpenClaw came out, we did experiment a lot with it. Hermes agents as well. Yeah, a lot of these are general purpose. And they come with a lot of other bloat that is not necessary for what we needed it for, or for what a trading system needs it for.
I haven't dug too much into like what sits underneath OpenClaw, but for me the unlock is being able to give it the characteristics and the skill sets, and the identity, and so that whenever you begin to interact with it again, it has that context that it brings to your conversation, which is it's kind of obvious when you think about it, and it's almost a bit weird that that's not natively built into ChatGPT or Claude, that you can kind of, I'm sure they're going to replicate it. But that was the nice thing. And you could see why there was suddenly this huge amount of builder community that were like getting evangelical about OpenClaw and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just having a chat with our team yesterday. Like for my own agent on the Boole platform, I specifically like it to ask me, like before executing or deploying a trade, like I specifically have like a checklist of like 3 things that I just wanted to like check in with me.
Before we
so I've built that into the memory of my agent. So like my experience will always be that, and it's tailored to me. And that's not what my co-founder experiences, because he likes different things.
Something different.
But yeah, that is one really cool aspect of it. But yeah, what we ended up doing is, again, we were spending a lot of time on R&D developing this, and we ended up just building out our own, our own agent orchestration framework.
Okay.
And it's light and it's trading specific.
Yeah. So it's more tailored.
And we just have a lot more control over it. So like it's just it's harder. Yeah, like when you have to audit what again, like OpenClaw, open source has its general purpose.
Yeah.
And it will keep improving, and they'll keep adding more and more stuff, and we'll keep having to audit a lot of things that aren't relevant to what we're doing.
Yeah.
It just felt, and it's just been better for us to just build it.
Something that's yours and domain specific as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas like obviously with OpenClaw, and depending on how you lock it down, the access for unverified skills that you can suddenly have working on your behalf that have been built by someone who might be a bad actor. Yeah, it's scary.
And you can still, you can still actually like, in our platform, you can still bring a skill from a third party. We only recommend that from like a pro,
of course,
the pro user. Like I'd be.
And so going back to sort of being on the business side of this idea and this evolution, you have the product launched, it's out there. And how are you growing it? Like, what's the idea?
Yeah. So technically, so what we currently have, we've been working on a private alpha for the past couple months. So we were talking about a couple of trading firms earlier before we started this, but what we've done is, we've been in the space for a while. We have, I guess, just by nature of me having worked in TradFi, we have a lot of friends both within crypto and outside of crypto, in the financial sector, in the trading space. So we've been, I guess the way we started the alpha was just onboarding a lot of these, trading pros in all these different settings, and just getting them to just battle test it. Also just understanding what they cared about, like what flows they care about, what data they wanted to interface, like how they
get that feedback loop working for you guys. Like.
Exactly, yeah. So for the past couple of months, we've been going through that alpha, and we're now expanding that a little bit. Currently we're building our way to, let's say like it is a live product. You can trade with it, like it's fully operational, like it's fully live. But currently it's not publicly accessible. Like you need to have an access code to utilize it. The raw product itself of like actually trading, that's working great. What we're now working on, and like what we're I guess our core focus right now is actually building all the things that help grow a little bit more naturally or more organically. So like having things like referral systems, and having things like leaderboards where we can track like when you can compete with other people, or having ways like community dashboards where you can maybe like share trading ideas and things like that.
Yeah.
So we focused a lot on like the trading capabilities, and now we're trying to focus on all these things that are going to help grow it.
Where does your community live at the moment? Are they like Discord? Are they Telegram?
Discord and Telegram and Twitter to an extent.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just a lot of the user onboarding at this stage is actually like very personal.
Okay.
So like
but you're just in alpha, so it's going to be right.
But even working our way to I guess it's still gonna be a private beta, but even working our way to that, it's still because like I said, right, like it's still like it is quite a lot of horsepower to throw at someone.
Yeah.
So we are like so we are.
You can sign disclaimers.
Well, you should see the initial disclaimer. It's like, and my co-founder was like, "Dude, it's too much. Like it's too much."
No, it's like necessary.
I'm like, this is what I explain when I'm in person.
Yeah.
So like, we should just put it on the But anyways, so one of the things that's working really well for us is, we're talking to a lot of the different trading venues.
Yeah.
And our approach with them is, listen, we're building the system that's going to help your users have more consistent flow, maybe more sophisticated flow, potentially just greater volume of flow.
Yeah, which is important for the venues.
It's going to elevate your user's trading experience. and they love the product. They like the potential that it has. So they themselves are like, well, yeah, like 80% of our flow comes from like 20% of our users. So like, and they'll start referring us to some of those different like core users. Right. So that's what we found so far, like to be very effective into like reaching out to like the very first subset of people that we think this product is going to be perfect for.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of things that I think like having a strong trading community building within like our product is going to enable us to then productize it into a product that non-experts can start utilizing.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And so is that the ambition is, like if you think about what an extreme ambition for Boole might be, is it anyone who wants to trade uses our system?
Yeah, I would say like we joke a little bit about this, but
the addressable market is big, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we joke a little bit about it because like we again like everyone we're talking to right now, like our ICPs, like this like like this pro like non-professional but like retail like pro trader. And so a lot of our conversations are about like like how do we it's all about trading, about the back testing, the validation, all this stuff. Sometimes I go into like, oh well this can be like an AI wealth manager. Like this is like this is the infra that can lead to like anyone that needs AI to manage money can use this. Right? Like so it's not just for trading. It's really like
so it can sit underneath any of the wallets that are out there and be the interface for people to say like I've got this is the composition of my current pension portfolio, and it can potentially access that and manage it for me under my instructions and guidelines.
Yeah, and nothing stops it. Like crypto rails, like on-chain perp dexes, on-chain prediction markets are a very just very natural launch point for us. But there's nothing stopping this from being plugged into your discount brokerage or your pension or retirement account.
And I think like. Are you guys raising at all for this? Have you raised? Or?
So up to this point, we've been fully bootstrapping. We are now like talking to a few different. We're looking for like these industry players that understand the trading space.
Of course.
And there's a few that we're talking to that are interested in coming in early as a pre-seed partner.
Yeah.
So we're considering opening up a small race very soon.
Yeah, so we've been through that journey, and one of our big learnings when we started talking to investors was not having an accurate description of how big this market could be.
Yeah,
and I think that obviously now I understand a bit more about VC economics.
And they need that. They need that. They need the growth. They need the growth in the size.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they love anything that has the viral element to it because exponential is an incredible thing. Yeah. But it only takes it's Paul Graham is like you just need your friends to refer it to other people, and then they refer it to other people, and suddenly you've got a viral product. It's
exactly.
So that's so cool. I can totally see why you find building in that space exciting, and we'll watch you as you go through the process of hopefully executing on this and building into a massive project. Where can people find Boole Digital right now?
They go to Boole BOLE.markets.
What was that? Where's the name from as well?
So Boolean logic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I guess it actually comes from George Boole, who's like the inventor of Boolean logic. There's not a big story here. It's just
it's a nice name.
He's I guess he's like coined as like the father of like the digital age or the information age
of logic.
So that was essentially.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted. So where can people find you again?
Boole.markets.
Boole.markets. Okay. Thanks very much, Rodrigo. I really enjoyed that. I genuinely mean it. I could sit here chatting about this for absolutely hours. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Pleasure. And so this is another episode of The Local wrapping up. Thanks very much for coming in. Hope to see you all guys soon.